Right, okay, so I'm going to do the engineering sheet 1. Right, number 1. Solve the following quadratics by completing this square. So that's going to be x minus 3 squared, because we half that 6 in there. Put the squared out there. Take away the 3 squared, which is 9, and then add the 2. So we've got the x minus 3 squared. I'm just going to do this once. X squared minus 3x plus 9. So that's going to give us the x squared. It's given us the minus 6x, but it's also given us a plus 9 that we don't want. So we take that away and put the plus 2 on that we do want. Okay. We've got x minus 3 squared minus 7 is 0. So x minus 3 squared equals 7. So x minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. So x is 3 plus or minus, like that. 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. Okay, so this is completing the square. So for b, we've got, it's going to be x plus 5 over 2 squared. We always start by half in this number, put it in there, as well as the x in there, bracket squared. So then we take away the 25 over 4, which is 5 squared, 25, 2 squared is 4. And then we subtract the 4, which we actually wanted there as well. Equals 0. So we've got x plus 5 over 2 squared. 4 is 16 over 4, remember. So this is minus 25 over 4, minus 16 over 4, minus 14 over 4 is 0. So x plus 5 over 2 squared, 41 over 4. X plus 5 over 2, plus or minus the square root of 41 over 4. And therefore, x is minus 5 over 2, plus or minus the square root of 41 over 4. And then c. Right, this one we start with 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 is 0. So I would divide everything by 2 first of all. Then complete the square. So it's x minus 3 over 4 now squared. Because half of 3 over 2 is 3 over 4. So we take away the 9 over 16, which comes out of there, and then take away the 1. 1 is 16 over 16. So this is x minus 3 over 4 squared. This is minus 25 over 16 is 0. So x minus 3 over 4 squared equals 25 over 16. X minus 3 over 4 plus or minus the square root of 25 over 16, which is plus or minus 5 over 4. So x is 3 over 4 plus or minus 5 over 4. So x is 8 over 4, which is 2, or minus 2 over 4, which is minus a half. Number 2. Solve the following quadratics by using the formula. Write the formula down first correctly. So the formula, ax squared plus bx plus c is 0. X is minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So for a, we've got a is 1, b is 1, c is minus 3. Now from here, look, A, B, C, A, B, C. So we've got x is minus 1 plus minus square root 1 squared. It's 4 times 1 times minus 3 all over 2 times 1. So it's minus 1, whoops, I've got it in the wrong thing there. Minus 1 plus minus the square root of 1 plus 12 all over 2. So it's minus a half, plus or minus a half, root 13. So for b, a is 1, b is minus 2, c is minus 3, x is minus b, plus minus square root b squared minus 2 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a, which is 2 times 1. So x is plus 2 plus minus square root of 4 plus 12, that is, over 2. Just wipe some of this off, don't need all that. So it's 2 plus or minus root 16 over 2. So it's 2 plus or minus 4 over 2. So therefore x is 2 plus 4 over 2, which is 6 over 2, which is 3. X is 2 minus 4, which is minus 2 over 2, which is minus 1. So we have our answers for that one. Let's just underline all these bits. Answers there. Oh, no, I've got answers for everything yet. Still got another set of answers to find. Let's just close that down. C. A is 3, B is minus 4. And this one, because we've got to have, it's got to be ax squared plus bx plus c is 0. So the c is minus 6. So x is minus b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That needs to be a bit longer there as well. So it's 2 times 3. So x is plus 4 plus minus the square root 16. This is going to be 72. 12, 6 is a 72. All divided by 6. Did that too long again. Looks a bit messy. Okay, so this is equals to 4 plus or minus the square root 72, 78, 88 over 6. 88 is 8 11, so it will divide by, it doesn't divide by 16, it will divide by 4. So it's 4 plus or minus as 8, the square root of 88 is the square root of 4 times 22. So it's 2 root 22. Plus or minus 2 root 22 over 6. So it's 2 plus or minus root 22 over 3. So answers are there, there, and there. Okay, for number 1 the answers are there, there, x is 2 or minus a half. Right, part 3. 4x squared plus 10x plus 3 is p, x plus q squared plus r for all values of x. Use the methods of completing the square to find p, q and r. Hence solve that equals 0. Right, so 4x squared. Let's take a 4 outside the bracket. Because that's what the 4 outside the bracket, because look, 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times 10 over 4 is 10x. 4 times 3 over 4 is 3. So this actually simplifies to 5 over 2. So it's going to be x plus 5 over 4 squared, because we've got to half that 5 over 2, minus 25 over 16. And 3 over 4 is 12 over 16. So plus 12 over 16. Okay, so I'm taking away the 25 over 16, which comes from expanding this, and then putting the 3/4, which is 12 over 16, back in there. So this is 4 x plus 5 over 4 squared, and then this is plus 4 times minus 13 over 16, because minus 25 plus 12 is minus 13. So that's minus 13 over 16 there, and it's got to be multiplied by 4. So it's minus 52 over 16, and they can both be halved. And halved again. minus 13 over 4. So therefore we've got P is 4, Q is 5 over 4, R is minus 13 over 4. So when we solve this equation here, which is what it wants us to do next, we can say 4 x plus 5 over 4 squared minus 13 over 4 equals 0. So x plus 5 over 4 squared equals 4 times x plus 5 over 4 squared equals plus 13 over 4. X plus 5 over 4 squared is 13 over 16. X plus 5 over 4 is plus or minus root 13, and I can take the square root of 16 as 4. So x is minus 5 over 4 plus or minus square root of 13 over 4. That's an answer there. There are your x values. Okay. If you spot any mistakes, let me know. Number 4a. So this is a circle. We complete the square for the x's. So because it's x squared plus 4x, we're going to have x plus half the 4 is 2. And take away 2 squared, which is 4. And y plus 4 squared, take away 16. That's half of the 4. Half of the 8 makes 4. And then take away 4 squared. And this has to be equals to 5. So x plus 2 squared plus y plus 4 squared. Add 20 to each side, which is 25. So then we've got a centre, minus 2, minus 4, and a radius, square root of 25, which is 5. The centre is these numbers with a change of sign, and the radius is the square root of that side there. So B is x minus 5 over 2 squared minus 25 over 4 plus y minus 7 over 2 squared minus 49 over 4. So I'll spell it where that comes from. The x's, it's minus 5x, so it's minus 5 halved. And this 25 over 4 is 5 squared and 2 squared. It's always take away there. So this is plus, and the y there is 7. So it's y minus 7 over 2 squared minus 49 over 4. And that equals 4 over there, but because these are in quarters, I'm going to write that as 16 over 4. So therefore, x minus 5 over 2 squared, y minus 7 over 2 squared equals 25 plus 49 plus 16 all over 4. So that's 74, 84, 90 over 4, which is 45 over 2. Okay, so then we're going to have the centre, 5 over 2, 7 over 2, and the radius, the square root of 45 over the square root of 2, square root of 9 times 5 over root 2, 3 root 5 over 2. Number 5. A straight line is always y equals mx plus c, and the m is the change in y's over the change in x's. So it's the y from the b minus the y from the a divided by the x from the b. Take away the x from the a. So it's 9 minus minus 1. There's the 9, there's the minus 1. Divided by 6 minus 1. That's 6 and that 1. It's always minus. So it's 10 over 5, which is 2. So we know y is 2x plus c. And then we substitute. We've got when x is 1, y is minus 1. So therefore minus 1 is 2 times 1 plus c. Therefore c has to be minus 3. So y equals 2x minus 3. You can check with either one. Check with the b coordinates, which are x is 6, y is 9. So 2 times 6 is 12, minus 3 is 9. That one works. So the line cuts the x-axis when y is 0. So therefore naught is 2x minus 3. Therefore 2x is 3. Therefore x is 1.5. And then the line cuts the y-axis when x is 0. So therefore y is 2 times 0 minus 3. So y is minus 3. Okay. Right, a straight line passes through the points A, 2, 2 and B, 10, 14. A second straight line passes through C and D with their coordinates. What point do they cross? Okay, so we need the line for AB first of all. So the M, change in Y, 14 minus 2 over 10 minus 2, which is 12 over 8, which is 3 over 2. So we've got Y is 3 over 2x plus C. Substitute x is 2, y is 2. So 2 is 3 over 2 times 2 plus C. So C is minus 1. And its y is 3 over 2x minus 1. That's the first line. And then the second line, the CD line. The M is the change in y, so it's minus 8 minus 10 over 4 minus minus 2. So it's minus 18 over 6, which is minus 3. Y is minus 3x plus C. And we substitute x is minus 2, y is 10. So plus 10 is minus 3 times minus 2 plus C. So therefore C is 4. And y is minus 3x plus 4. Okay, so when they meet, this line equals this line. So we've got 3 over 2x minus 1 is minus 3x plus 4. So this is 1.5 x's on the left, and we add the 3 x's over. So it's going to be 4.5x is 5. So x is 5 over 4.5, that's an unusual number. 10 over 9. Why do I feel like there's a mistake there somewhere? 4.5x is 5, yeah. Does that one work as well? Minus 12 plus 4 is minus 8. 1.5. Yeah. So x is, and then so y is minus 3x plus 4. I just pick either of these, but I was avoiding that extra fraction at the time being, which is minus 3 times 10 over 9 plus 4. So it's minus 30 over 9. And then 4 is 36 over 9. So it's 6 over 9, which is 2/3. So it's 10 ninths and 2/3. That, they should satisfy both of these equations. I'm quickly going to do it in my head. 1.5 times 10 ninths is 15 ninths. Minus 1 is 6 ninths, which is 2/3. So it fits that one. And then y minus 30 ninths plus 36 ninths is 6 ninths. Yes, it satisfies that one. That's right. Number 7. A. 2x minus 5 is less than x minus 2. Subtract x from each side. Add 5 to each side. That's the answer. B. Here we need to factorise first, but we actually can't because there are 2 numbers that multiply to make minus 7 and add to give 4. So we can complete this square. X minus 2 squared minus 4 minus 7 less than 0. Let's start by working out where it's equals to 0. It's the best thing to do with these ones, quadratic inequalities. So I'm completing the square and working out where they're equals to 0. So x minus 2 squared is 11. X minus 2 is plus or minus root 11. So x is 2 plus or minus root 11. And then if you think of the number line, the 2 minus root 11 is going to be over here. 2 plus root 11. And it's a positive quadratic. So it's positive up here negative under here. So you can say the x, where it's negative, x squared minus 4x minus 7 is less than 0, and 2 minus root 11 is less than x is less than 2 plus root 11. And then C, 3 minus 5x is less than 18, therefore minus 5x is less than 15. Take 3 from each side, divide both sides by minus 5, so x is greater than minus 3. Reverse the inequality when we divide by a negative number. 8. Okay, find the equation of the tangent and the normal to the curve. Okay, at the point 0, 1. And that's the curve there. Right, this is how the gradient function, this is how we work out the gradient, by substituting the x coordinate into here. And we'll do a lot more of this in the second trimester. So tangent is y equals mx plus c. M is dy by dx evaluated at x is 0, which is minus 2, minus 4 times 0, which is minus 2. So what's y is minus 2x plus c. And then we substitute x is 0, y is 1. So 1 is minus 2 times 0 plus c. So therefore c is 1. And y is minus 2x plus 1. That's the tangent. So that's the gradient of the tangent there. The gradient of the normal times the gradient of the tangent is always minus 1. So the gradient of the normal times minus 2 is minus 1. Therefore, the gradient of the normal is 1/2. So we've got y is 1/2 x plus c. And again, we substitute x is 0, y is 1. So 1 is 1/2 times 0 plus c. So therefore, c is 1. And y is 1/2 x plus 1 is the normal at the point. Number 9. The sum of the first 100 natural numbers is given by that. Find the value of s. Now we do a lot more of these in the second semester because I'm going to do all the sequences and series. But I can tell you now, the sum is of natural numbers is 1/2 n plus 1. So basically, if you want the first 100 numbers, n is 100. We get 1/2 times 100 times 101, which is 50 times 101, which is 50 times 100 plus 50 times 1, 50, 50. Okay, so if you add all the numbers up from 1 to 100, you'll get to 5050. You just put it into that formula. 1 to 1000, you just put n is 1000, whatever you want. A similar formula, that's A, B. Sum of the first 100 multiples of 3. So that means we do the sum of the first 100 multiples of 3 is 3 times 50, 50, which is 0. 3 5s are 15, 15, 150. Just check that 50, 50 times 3. 0, 15, 1, 15. Okay. Because everything. Yeah. Number 10. Again, these are going to be in the second semester. But what we've got, if you've got infinite progressions and it's geometric, we're going to do this. The sum to infinity is a over 1 minus r, where a is the first term and the common ratio is the ratio, basically. Okay, so for a, r is 1/2, because every term gets halved. If you look. Okay, so the sum to infinity is 1 over 1 minus 1/2. So it's 1 over 1/2, which is 2. And then b, you've got it. It's the same formula. We've got a equals 1. R is the ratio, the common ratio, and here the common ratio is minus 1/2. So the sum to infinity is 1 over 1 minus 1/2. So it's 1 over 3 over 2, which which is 2/3. But again, don't worry about them this term, next term. Number 11. Long division. So we've got x plus 3 into 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 17x minus 5. And what we do, we start with the x into the 2x cubed, and that gives us 2x squared. So that gives us 2x cubed there, plus 6x squared. What's happened there is I've done 2x times x is x cubed, 2x times 3 is 6x squared. So they cancel, minus 3x squared minus 6x squared, minus 9x squared, minus 17x. And then what we do now is we actually do the x into the minus 9x squared. X into minus 9x squared is minus 9x. And then that's going to give us minus 9x squared there, and minus 27x, because it's that one times that one, and then that one times that one. Oh, I could put those in green, actually. That's a green. That's come from green, and that's come from the yellow. Okay, so we do this takeaway. That's going to be 10x, and they cancel. Bring down the next one, minus 5. Then I need another new colour. It's going to be really bright pink. So get pink. Oh, that's gone wrong. Not pink. Orange. Oh, that hasn't worked either. Let me just rub out the colour here. Yeah, let's go for orange. Orange into the 10x. So an x into 10x is 10. So it's 10x plus 30. And then you get, when you do the takeaway, you're left with minus 35 because they cancel. So the answer is 2x squared minus 9x plus 10 minus 35 over x plus 3. Number 12, show that x minus 2 is a factor of that. So we say f of x is x cubed minus 3x squared minus 10x plus 24. F of plus 2 is 2 cubed minus 3 times 2 squared minus 10 times 2 plus 24. So that's 8 minus 4 is minus 4, which is equals to 0. So because plus 2 is what we call a root, x minus 2 is a factor. So then we've got f of x is x minus 2, and we want it to be equals to this. So that's got to be x squared, so that we get x cubed. Then we've got minus 2x squared there, but we want minus 3x squared. So we need to take away minus 2x squared, and then take away another x squared is minus 3x squared. And we want minus 10x, the next one, I'll do just a straight line. We've got plus 4x, and we want minus 10x, so we've got to take away x squared. Let me just check this. Minus 2x squared minus 3x squared plus 2x. Oh, it's got to be, of course, minus 12x. Just had a blob then. Don't know what I was thinking of. Minus 12x, which is that one there. And that gives us minus 10x. And finally, if it works, minus 2 times minus 12. The constant is correct. Okay. So then we can go on and factorise this. X minus 2. This is going to be x minus 4, x plus 3. Number 13. Partial fractions. Very important. Times x plus 2 in your second year. A over x plus 1 plus b over x plus 2. So we can say 2x is then going to be a times x plus 2 plus b times x plus 1. If let x is minus 2, we'll get minus 4, a times 0 plus b times minus 1. So therefore, b is 4. And if we let x is minus 1, we'll have minus 2 on the left, a times 1 plus b times nothing. So a is minus 2. Okay, so express it properly. 2x, x plus 1, x plus 2 is minus 2 over x plus 1 plus 4 over x plus 2. Have I left a page there? No, I haven't. So that's a, b, 2 over x plus 2, x plus 1 squared. When it's got a repeated factor on the denominator, say it's a over the first one plus b over the second one without the squared number, and then plus c over the second one when it is squared. So we say that t is a times x plus 1 squared plus b times x plus 2, x plus 1 plus c times x plus 2. And x is minus 1, so 2 a times 0 plus b times 0 plus c times 1, so therefore c is 2. And x is minus 2 next. 2 on the left is a, and that's going to be minus 1 squared plus b times 0 plus c times 0. So therefore we get that a is actually 2, because minus 1 squared is plus 1. And finally, any random number of x, note's a good one. A times 1 squared plus b times 2 plus c times 2. So 2 is 2 plus b times 2. 2 times c is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So therefore 2b is minus 4. So b is minus 2. And we end up with 2 over x plus 1 squared is 2 over x plus 2 minus 2 over x plus 1 plus 2 over x plus 1 squared. Number 14. A. So what we can say, 8x, x plus 2. You have to spot that this is x minus 2. X squared minus 4 is x minus 2 times x plus 2. So it's like the previous one. So it's a over x plus 2, b over x plus 2 squared, and then it's going to be c over x minus 2, because that one's repeated, so it has to be once and then twice, and then they've one by itself. So 8x is a, x minus 2, x plus 2. I'm multiplying both sides by the denominator here. That's going to be x minus 2. This is c, x plus 2 squared. Okay, so if we let x equals 2, 16 on the left, a times nothing, b times nothing, c, and then 2 plus 2 is 4 squared, which is 16. So c is 1. 16 is 1 times 16. X is minus 2 next, minus 16, a times nothing, b times minus 4, plus c times nothing, so therefore b is 4. Finally, let's let x equals 0. 0 on the left, a times minus 4, b times minus 2, and then c times 2 squared. So, nothing is a that we need, minus 4a. Minus 2b is minus 8, because b is 4. And then c times 4 is plus, 1 times 4 is plus 4. So therefore, we've got minus 4a, or add 4a to each side, is minus 4. So a is minus 1. So we end up, summarise it properly, we can say that 8x over x plus 2, x squared minus 4, minus 1 over x plus 2, plus 4 over x plus 2 squared, plus 1 over x minus 2. And then the last one, b, this is 3, this is x squared plus 3. This is going to need a little bit more room. Let's start this on the next page. So it's 3 over x squared plus 3. Get that across right, yes I have. So this is a over x plus bx plus c over x squared plus 3. Okay, multiply both sides by x squared plus 3. So 3 is a x squared plus 3 plus bx plus c times x. So 3 ax squared plus 3a plus bx squared plus cx. Okay, so we can do this by comparing coefficients. On the left-hand side, we've just got 3. So if we look at the powers of x squared, we've got 0 on the left, is a plus b on the right. So that's that one and that one. Power orders of x, that gives us that c is nothing. Okay, c is nothing. And then the constant coefficients are that 3a is 3, which is that there and that there. So therefore a is 1. And if we substitute for a is 1 in there, b is minus 1. So we end up with 3 over x cubed plus 3x is 1 over x minus x over x squared plus 3. And I'm just going to check this, because I just want to make sure this is right. X, I'm going to form a common denominator. The 1 over x, common denominator is x times x squared plus 3. So this has been multiplied by x squared plus 3. So it's x squared plus 3 minus, yeah? And then this other denominator here has been multiplied by x. So I've got to multiply the numerator by x. It's minus x squared. They cancel. Take the x. And that's the answer there. Right,